What's going on, guys? It's your girl, Kara Dangerous. Welcome to another episode of Kara Dangerous Live. It's been a while for Kara Dangerous Live, but I'm so glad that you decided to join me tonight. I have a very special guest, a guy I like to call a friend, the owner of Midwest Mixtapes,
Yes.
Adam Murphy. How are you, Adam?
Hello, hello. What's up, KD?
Not much, man. I'm just pushing on, doing this show and trying to love life, brother.
Man, gotta let them know you not her. You not her. You
You
not the
already
one.
know I am not her. But guys, before we get into it, you already know what we got to do. We got to hit that intro.
It ain't the same around here like it used to be. You don't see people sit together like you used to see. I keep telling the people to find inner peace. Don't pull out that gun.
Yes. So, Adam Murphy,
Yo,
you
yo.
are the founder of Midwest Mixtapes. It's the number one source for free mixtapes. I know that's your slogan, and that's what you go by. The number one source for mixtapes
From Midwest.
for the Midwest. Okay, we're gonna make sure we emphasize that for the Midwest.
Yeah.
You you are the founder of Midwest Mixtapes, and I just want you to give people a little insight onto your background and your education and what you've been able to do in this business of music.
My background. I'm halfway done with a master's. I do
Hmm.
have a BA in half accountant, half marketing. So I
Hmm.
am educated. I am book educated with this stuff. And I definitely can tell anybody and everybody that definitely has given me advantage over a lot of different people that I've met over the industry. Experience is one thing, but also too to be able to connect the dots to understand what you're actually doing.
Hmm.
That's a big deal. And so I just really took no different than running around in the streets of North County to my education and just put it together. You know what I like to say I am? I'm what Sonny wanted C to be from the Bronx Tales.
Hmm.
Remember what he used to tell him?
I wish I could say I did, but I'm just
Oh
gonna
man, he
say
used to tell him, stay in school, get an education. That way you'll be twice as smart as these guys on the streets.
no.
So,
Okay, I do remember that now.
so I always took that to heart when I saw that, and that made a lot of sense to me.
Absolutely. I like when people come on here and stress the importance of education. I mean, some
Oh
people
yeah,
can
you
do it
can't,
without it, but it's good to have it.
man. Even if I'll put it even this way, even if you've been in the business a while, go. Even if you just go into the library to read books,
Hmm.
most of the stuff that we paid thousands of dollars for an education for just to get a little certificate or whatever, the graduation diploma or whatever, you can get most of that education if you go to the library.
Absolutely. Adam, just tell us what can we find on Midwest mixtape that differ from the other mixtape websites out there that people love to visit?
Okay. We got to go back to the very beginning of mixtape stuff, and we're talking about '04. We started in
Hmm.
'04. uh I definitely have a strong claim to say we are like the first mixtape site ever. I know we're older than Dat Piff.
Really?
Yeah, we're a year older than them. They came around in '05.
I had no idea. That's amazing.
Yeah, I forgot the dude's name. His name was like Alex or something like that. I met him down at
Mhm.
A3C. Real cool dude. Uh Told me he didn't give me the ins and outs, but he let me know. He was like, "Hey, we were created in '05." I was like, "Oh wow, I'm older than y'all." So, but unlike that Piff and the live
Mhm.
mixtapes and the my mixtapes, we just focus on the Midwest. So I'm from the Midwest. You can tell by the hat where I'm from.
You always representing the Midwest, baby. I'm telling you.
Man, you know what? I'm the Pimp C of the Midwest. As much as Pimp C used to talk about the South and the South coming up like that, I'm a very, very, very just Midwest. I love our music. I love our artists that come out of our area and whatnot, and not just hip hop and rap. That goes uh, R&B. We're talking about Michael Jackson, the Jackson Fives. Prince.
Hmm.
So even all the way back to Motown.
I know looking at your following, you get a lot of sorry about you get a lot of love from the people, the people in your community. That's gotta feel so amazing, Adam. I'm just going through some pictures here to show some of your t-shirts and some of the supporters you've been able to have over the
Yeah, yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Crazy. The one with the Asian cat. That's one of my best friends growing up. And you know how everybody, you always see people talking about, oh, if your friends don't support you, they're not sharing your shit, blah blah blah, yada
Mhm.
yada yada. I've never been into that. I don't give two shits if any of my personal friends I grew up with ever share a Midwest Mixtapes post. If they ever just even, I just don't care. It's not. I've never did it. I didn't do this to make. I don't know. I never. I didn't do that. I don't do this for them. This is just something for me. This is something I've always done, and most of my friends will tell you. I grew up. I was the one with the music. I was the one always with the latest CD or making a tape. I used to make mixtapes in high school.
That's what I want to bring it back to because, when I was in high school or just being a teen, you were excited to get a mixtape. You were excited to pick up one from the gas station to see somebody selling it and get to go in your car and see what kind of mixes you had. I mean, now we have Spotify and iTunes and all these different services, but kind of take us back to your love for mixtapes growing up because I know you had to have it because it was such a big game. So many people from our generation was able to make a career off of the fact that they sold mixtapes and got their name out there.
Yeah.
Like the importance, the love that you have for mixtapes.
I I've always liked a variety of music. I'm from St. Louis. When I mean we got everything,
Hmm.
we got everything. There's probably you could probably pick a major city from the, not just the Midwest in this country, and I'll tell you a rapper probably from there. You know, you might not ever heard of him, but I've heard. We get a lot of stuff here, and the stores we had at the time before they all closed or whatever, they used to be able to get a lot of stuff. So
Do you
uh,
see mixtape as being something that's, I mean, you have, of course, you own a mixtape website, but I guess some people would say they're not as popular. Or would you say they're still popular like
man,
they used to be?
just like anything, man, you know, too much going on, then people fall off. Dead weight dies. No
Mhm.
different than the blogs. You know, people act like blogs ain't no big deal anymore, but you still need blogs, and they're still good quality blogs. The people who actually cared about their shit and wasn't trying to make a fast buck,
Mhm.
they're the ones who are still around. The ones who were trying to make the fast buck obviously didn't make the fast buck. You know, they doing something else, whatever they're doing, which I'm happy. It just kills them off. You know, gets off the dead weight. So, but
Do
back
you
to what
think
you was.
there'll be a resurgence of people wanting mixtapes because and just Little Wayne and it was just certain artists that you could always count on to put out a mixtape. Like whenever DJ Drama would drop, you had to have that mixtape. It's just like what happened to that excitement.
It it came too easy for everybody to make music. And then you got everybody feeling like they don't necessarily need a DJ anymore,
Mm.
which is just stupid.
Mhm.
That's some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And then also too, you got a lot of people giving away music. It's original music, but they want to call it a mixtape. And they want
Now
to,
that's
as
true.
far as I'm concerned, they only calling it a mixtape when
Mhm.
it's all original music is because they're scared to call it an album and to really see that they really have no fan base,
Mhm.
you know. So they just want to call it a mixtape. So, it was something just to give the people who get my buzz. But you even got to remember back in the day, you had cats like Waka Flocka Flame
Oh
who got
yeah.
hot off mixtapes.
Yeah, well, you had some artists just putting out so many mixtapes. You wondered when are you gonna give us an album, and you just had to accept the mixtape as their album because that's all they would put out.
Right. But you got the one cats that were smart, like J. Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Uh that first the first time I think he went platinum with no features, that Forest Hill, I think it was.
Yes, I heard that same thing.
What a lot of people wasn't paying attention. That
Mm-hmm.
year before, he was dropping a little, like a 30-minute, 40-minute project every 3 months. He was
Wow.
dropping one a quarter, which helped build up his buzz.
Now that's a good point. Got to be consistent in the game
Yeah, you got to be very consistent. But
to get your name out there.
to me, mixtapes, it's the way to come across new music,
Mhm.
new artists. You know, I wish more artists did the mixtape stuff. And when I mean mixtapes, I mean jack the industry beats
Mhm.
and do what 50 Cent did. Man, if I ever meet 50 Cent, man, I'm going to shake his hand. I'm something, because, you know, if it wasn't for him, these mixtape shit wouldn't be shit.
Yeah, he did have some good mixtapes back in the day.
Yeah, when he got signed, what all you ever
Yeah.
heard? Mixtapes. That's 03. Midwest Mixtapes came around 04.
It's kind of like the NBA dunk contest. We know that it's people who can dunk, but
Right.
none of the good players want to dunk. We just need some of the best artists to start back making mixtapes and getting people excited about it. You're right, because I guess what about when DJs like DJ Khaled make whole records? Shouldn't that just really be a mixtape? But now he's sending it out like he an artist, and I think that kind of helped diluted the mixtape game too.
Yeah.
If DJs are gonna start
But
packaging even their products as a full studio album.
but you know whose fault that is, though, too?
Who?
The labels. Look what they
Oh,
did to
yeah,
Drama
yeah.
when he was dropping all the mixtapes. The feds.
But let's be honest, and maybe I'm not correct in saying this, but who would profit more from the mixtapes? Probably not the labels, right? The artists.
Shit.
So that's they
Now,
want it
you
to
know
be
what?
dead.
Now, hold on, though. If you take it back to mixtapes when there were mixtapes, and I mean jacking industry beats,
Mm-hmm.
then it shouldn't be a problem. Now, if you releasing unreleased music that you know damn well you're not supposed to be releasing,
Mm-hmm.
that's a different story. But these labels, man, they send that shit out. They want you to leak that shit. Why? It's called street buzz. This
Oh
is
yeah,
still
yeah.
hip hop.
There are
This is
no
still all,
coincidences, people.
you know, it's still the street. It's still street, very street. It's very street still. Regardless, anybody thinks this is very street. And I don't mean street as in shoot 'em up, bang, bang. I'm just talking
Mhm.
about, it's about the people in the street, the everyday life, the everyday dude who standing at the bus, waiting for the bus. He got his earpiece in. He's doing what? Listening to music. People sitting on the bus in their Ubers or whatever the hell, people still listen to music, and they're always going to be listening to music. That ain't ever going to change.
So Adam, somebody just asked a while ago, what is the difference with Midwest hip hop? What I hear you talking about it all the time on your Facebook page. You represent the Midwest so well. You defend it. What 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 is so special about the Midwest to you compared to all the other places, the South and the West and East Coast hip hop?
We've never gotten our chance. They don't let
Mhm.
us in. Hold on. There we go. Much better lighting. They,
Thank you.
nah, you good. Nah, they don't let us in as a whole a lot at a time. They only give us one or two at a time.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because even like shit, well, let's go to Prince and Michael Jackson, Gary in Minneapolis. You know, you had Nelly, who was out at the same time Nelly really was. Kanye came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you got the Tech Nines, Royce the 5'9",
Mhm.
Eminem, D12, Chingy. There's a great example.
holding you up on a magazine.
Yeah, I saw him last week too. Shout out to Chingy, man. He a good dude. He a
Yes.
good dude. He definitely has never been a handout person to me. He's
Mhm.
always, anytime we've done business, he's, broke bread. So, nah, I got a lot of respect for Chingy. He's definitely He doesn't get enough respect. I'll put it like that, because people do be getting on that dude's head for some reason. But
They do be clowning Chingy, and I was a fan of Chingy. People tried to say his lyrics were simple, but to me, some artists their lyrics can be simple because it's about more than just the lyrics. It was his whole package. He just was very entertaining. He had a nice flow to his voice. It was he wasn't like Drake, but he didn't have to sing, but he had this melodic type of delivery that I enjoyed, and I enjoyed his videos as well.
he just, man, you know what? Let's talk about St. Louis, all right? Because
Hmm.
like we were just saying with the Midwest, really, St. Louis, they were only letting one type of sound come out of St. Louis.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, I don't care whose feelings I'm about to hurt when I say this. Chingy don't sound no different to me than Nelly.
Really?
Yeah, it's all daylight music. They made daylight music. If that makes sense, if you understand what I'm saying.
It's pop rap.
Yeah, it's real pop, but at the same time,
Yeah.
like as far as St. Louis, they were giving you guys our good playful side.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They weren't letting you hear the A-verbs, the Julays, the T-Dub-Os, like the Tef-Pos, the guys that are really on that can really rap. You know, I'm talking that rapidy
Hmm.
rap, can like rap circles around your head, rap backwards type. But at the end of the day, though, we're talking about trying to sell records. What's going to sell more records?
Now, let's be honest. Do you feel some type of way? Because I feel like sometimes people judge the Midwest on just a couple of artists. They'll look at just Nelly, and some people say Nelly. They like him as a person, but they'll say his rap is lame or something, and they'll just chop it up to being the whole Midwest. I'm
Hey,
just asking because of what you just said.
I would say I would take that on a person more St. Louis type thing, because I hope they wouldn't think the whole Midwest was like that, because it's definitely not, especially
Well,
Chicago.
maybe I should say the St. Louis then.
St. Louis, yeah, yeah, man. I think St. Louis got a terrible rep.
Oh, okay.
I think it's horrible, to be
Okay.
honest. Like,
Okay.
man, at the end of the day, I didn't grow up in a soft ass neighborhood. I didn't grow up with no soft ass white kids. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, I would say 90% of my friends, we all come from households that were run by the mothers, divorced. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, I never was into them. Like, it was too soft for me. They weren't talking about stuff that I was into and what me and my friends were doing. So, but I understood it. I understood what they were doing. They were getting their money. They was, like I said, it's daylight music. You can
Well,
play.
who do you think should who would be better to represent St. Louis to make it have the reputation you think it should have? Or, I mean, what is it missing in order to have that good reputation you think?
I'll put it like this. I wish cats like Jule. This one guy, his name Jule. Uh,
Mhm.
he goes by Jew Black Flag. He was supposed to come out, I think, like after Jaquan.
Mhm.
Like, he was signed to a major at one point. I forgot what happened. You'd have to ask him and whatnot. But him, if he came out and people really got to hear him, they would think a whole lot different of St. Louis.
Mhm.
Even the battle rap stuff. I don't know how many times people, if you pay attention, Averb sitting there constantly talking about, man, if it wasn't for us, people would still be thinking St. Louis ain't nothing but a bunch of little dance clowns. Hey, most our
Uh,
records on our radio station, whether they just local records or they made it to the big time, they all dance records.
mhm.
All of them. Well, except maybe Country Grammar.
But that's just y'all thing, though. That's not necessarily bad. But you guys want a variety to be shown.
Yeah. More variety.
Mhm.
Everything needs a balance. That's what I'm into. I like a balance in life. You got to have your life balanced. And
I
music needs to be
definitely
balanced.
believe in that.
I
So
did.
let me just say this. The Midwest includes Illinois, Indiana,
Hmm.
Iowa, Kansas,
Hmm.
Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, Ohio, South Dakota, and Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I say all that to say I want to bring up some artists, Adam, from the Midwest.
Yeah, go
And
ahead.
I want you to give me your thoughts on what you feel about them and how they're impacting the game. Because, I mean, you're all about the Midwest, right?
Yeah. Ah, man, dude. Like that's one thing also too about me. You can't go to any Midwest city and not and bring up my name. People are gonna you're gonna run into somebody who actually knows me. So
That's beautiful. See, I
yeah,
told you
I
down with the
definitely I
street.
definitely took it to heart when I called the stuff Midwest mixtapes.
Absolutely. Now, the first guy, I have to say, I'm a fan, and I heard his music a couple of years ago. And personally, what I like about him is that he's very energetic, and you can feel his rhymes. He makes them really come alive. And that guy I'm talking about is, you know, this guy?
Yeah, T Grizzly. I like T
Yep.
Grizzly.
Representing Detroit. So, what do you think about him and how he's representing the Midwest?
Man, he's one of the people that really got that steam rolling for the city of Detroit
Mm-hmm.
on a bigger scale and stuff. Like Detroit really they doing numbers. Detroit doing numbers. They pushing a lot of people up through the door. And Detroit right now, to me, they doing what everybody always says Atlanta does, that they all rock with each other. Whether they
Mm-hmm.
all like each other personally or not, I don't know. I don't know them like that. But from the outside looking in, they definitely all be showing each other love. A great big chunk of each other, a lot of love. And definitely T Grizzly is one of the artists that definitely has pushed through the door ever since with his first record, First Day Out. You know, I won't even say I think he was probably the first rapper who ever made a record like that.
You know, I don't know, but I can tell you that's a good project, and it kind of reminds me of old school and new school hip hop, just how energetic it is. Just a different like,
Hey,
I don't know why I want. Mhm.
Detroit reminds me like their sound right now to me is an updated Bay Area hyphy sound.
Upgraded Bay hyphy sound.
Like they got the just
Between
like
that and drill,
yeah.
yeah,
They
it's
got
like
a
a
good
mix.
yeah. Okay. I can see where you're going with that. Yeah.
Well, I got another guy for you.
Okay. That guy, good old Freddie Gibbs.
This is Freddie Gibbs, who's pretty popular right now. He's
Yeah,
always in the media arguing and fighting with Jim Jones of the Diplomats.
man. Yeah.
and
He's a character.
he's a character, and I know you knew him personally back in the day. So,
Yeah.
what do you have to say about Mr. Freddie Gibbs?
Freddie Gibbs, man. What do I say? I'm not surprised how big he became.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can tell you the first time I heard him was on my man Finger Roll. Shout out to my big bro Finger Roll. Uh, on a compilation album, a
Mm-hmm.
label compilation album of theirs. I heard one full song from him, and then he had like two feature verses on people's stuff, and it was just like, yeah, this kid's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, this kid's real nice. And then when I met him, he had the look, you know, he wasn't cut up like he is now or whatever, but he was a little chunky. But I want to say we met, I was like maybe only 23 when I met him, 23, 24. And he was like, I think 3-4 years younger than me. So he was early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Got along great, you know. He understood the business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He understood marketing. A lot of stuff that he does today was stuff that I was showing him to do back in the day. So it ain't nothing surprising. As far as talent wise, like I said, man, this kid's he's always had it. And all that stuff, all them little slick disses and all that shit that he does nowadays and shit, he used to do that shit back in the day too. Ah, nah. And it's funny that you had that picture of Chingy. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't know this. I'd have to try to dig to find out the CD. I don't even know if I even have it. But a record. We used to me and my artists that I used to invest in. We used to go out to Gary to
Mm-hmm.
record, and like I said, Freddie's main producer is a good industry friend of mine. He also a drum award member like me. It's a brotherhood thing. It's a Midwest thing. It be too long to talk about. But me and Freddie just became really cool, and we used to go up there to record. He popped in the studio one of the times, and he jumped down on a verse,
Mm-hmm.
and we couldn't use the verse because he did Chingy on it.
Ah.
So, and this was like, but I want to say he ended up using this. He ended up using the verse on his mixtape. I want to say the Full Metal Jacket, Volume 2. So
You and Freddie
I'll
did.
just put it like this: I wasn't about to, even though at the time, I didn't know Chingy. I could care less about Chingy.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I was young. I was 20. I didn't give two shits. But more, my thing was the fact of I'm from St. Louis.
Oh yeah.
I live here.
Yes.
Hey, I'll put it like this: regardless if me and Chingy know each other or dislike each other, or me liking them or not, I'll put it like this, man: you ain't gonna talk about my home.
Oh
We
yeah.
can talk about my home. Don't you? We're not gonna let you do that. Nah, I'm not gonna support that shit. But also the fact of like Chingy's boys ain't them guys ain't they that neck of the woods is a wild part of town. North side of the city in St. Louis is that's Tombstone, man. That's Sleepy Hollow. You better
Yeah,
watch
I'm
yourself.
surprised it's not more drill type music in St. Louis. Or am I mistaken?
Man, these youngsters out here now, there's a nice crop of St. Louis
Mhm.
cats. I could think of good 5 or 6 off the top of my head, but they don't call it drill.
Mm.
They call it high speed music.
Okay, okay. Well, that's good to know. So you don't put me up on game right there.
Yeah, so they on some stuff called high speed music, or and but they always that is one thing they do. That's how much impact Chicago has had,
Mm-hmm.
especially the drill scene. That a lot of people are doing with like they're trying to. Everybody's
Well,
drill.
we're gonna talk about that a little later, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on to this 42 Doug. You look like you don't know who they are.
Nah, I don't see that, man. You know what? No disrespect. I don't listen to their music like that. But I know who they are.
Hmm.
I just don't. I haven't heard enough of their music.
Well, ESTG represents Louisville,
Louisville.
Kentucky, which people
You gotta
say
say
is
Louisville, not Louisville.
Louisville. Excuse me,
Louisville.
Louisville. It
Yeah,
represents
I've been
both.
there. I know enough that they call it Louisville.
Louisville is both a southern and midwestern considered area. So,
Yeah,
you
they do
know, I
call
had
themselves like a gateway city to the south.
yes. And 42 Doug is from Detroit, which I like what he has going on. Know somebody who produced music for him. And I like that song he has with Future, where Future says, "Tell Steve Harvey I don't wanna." Like I go every time I hear that line,
Yeah, Future.
I get crunk every time I hear that line. So so you don't know these guys that good, or can you speak on the
Hey, you
impact you
know
think
what?
they're having right now?
They doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but nah, I can be honest. I really do. I at 42 Doug.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if I'm saying. I don't like his voice is annoying.
He does have a little squeaky voice, but
It's a
on most tracks it rides.
I've never nothing like if I personally got to know him or something, he was
Mhm,
real cool. That'd be different. There's a lot of people I've come across that I got to know them. I got to understand their music, so that way,
mhm,
I was like, oh, okay, cool. Your shit. You know what? Your shit ain't as bad as I probably had to know him or get to know him to literally pay attention to his music. But other than that, he jumped out to me. He jumped out at that major level so fast. It wasn't even like a chance to really get into him
mm,
to build up to liking him. So, but like someone like T Grizzly, boom,
mhm,
he was dropping boom, boom, boom. So I liked a lot of T Grizzly stuff. That Busted Down or whatever he just dropped. I
mhm.
like that record.
Well, now that you brought up drill, I did want to go over that a little bit because, drill is very popular, but it was a couple of months ago. The governor of New York, he made headlines because he said that he wanted to ban drill music. Now, I heard that his son was trying to get him not to do it. Of course, his son must be a teenager. His son knows what's hot right now, and it is drill music.
Right.
So we know that Eric Adams, he met with a couple of rappers to discuss it, and I believe it was Mano who actually got everybody together. Um, this guy right here, what is his name? I always forget. Fabio, the new hot New York rapper. He was there as
Oh,
well
I
in
didn't even realize
attendance.
he was from New York. I thought he was from the South.
Who, Fabio?
Yeah.
Oh, you tripping? No, it's just like a lot of New York rappers sounding like they from the South, but that's
Oh,
a whole
okay.
nother conversation.
Right. Well,
But
but that's no different than right now. We talking about drill in New York. Like New York ain't New York no more, and that's why New York ain't nowhere on the scene on this map.
yeah, because they trying to do what everybody else doing instead of just finding a new New York thing.
Yeah,
And
man.
and they
Like,
and it's funny because they used to be all about originality, but now they have it. And like we discussed this offline about the arrogance of some places, like the South has gotten a little arrogant. Atlanta, but definitely New York was arrogant for so long, and so now it's like they have to try to find their footing.
hey,
But
karma's a bitch. That's all I'll say in that situation. Now, Don, you know what? I'm hard as hell on East Coast rap, man. But I want people to understand. It's not like I don't think their rappers are not dope. Because you would be a fool to think Styles P ain't cold.
mhm.
Saigon, Core Mega,
I love New York rap. I'm just
Nas,
saying,
them boys can spit. It's just
yeah.
their production is so garbage to me. It's
Mm.
boring. It puts me to sleep.
Now I
Like
have heard a lot of
if
people say
if
that.
their beats don't have no soul in it, most of the
Mhm.
time I'm skipping it. I don't want to hear that boom, boom, boom. I'm not trying to hear 1989.
I mean, people do say that.
You know, like give me an updated sound. Like Styles P is a great example of somebody who stayed up with the times as far as production. That's even why whatchamacallit Dipset did so well. Their
Mhm.
production wasn't no New York sounding shit.
I think it was New York sound. It just was a new hip flavor, and I think the Heat Makers did a good job with. I mean, I know
Didn't you have them
Arsenal.
on your show?
Yeah, Arsonist,
Okay, yeah, yeah, I remember that one.
Arsenal, Arsonist,
Yeah, nah,
and
them boys were hot. But at the
yeah.
same time, they definitely wasn't that normal New York sound.
But see, and people didn't even like his sound at first. They thought it was too dark. But see, sometimes you just gotta go. That's what he told me. They thought it was too
Wow.
dark. So, you just never know. You got to go with you. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be somebody to take the chance of just to do something new. Too many artists sounding alike these days. Nobody want to get out there and be different. And that's the biggest critique I could have for right now. But I want to get your opinion though on drill music because the mayor of New York, he has kind of changed his opinion a little bit. I think, and I'm going to paraphrase, he feels like he told Mano and all the rappers, I don't want to ban drill music anymore. But it's some parts of the drill music where I guess people are, you know, maybe sending out threats to their ops. That's the kind of drill music he doesn't like. But to me, that's just mostly all drill music. But okay, I don't know if he got blindsided by being in the room with a couple of rappers and whatever whatnot. But what's your opinion on that? Do you think drill music incites violence? Because we got people like Chief Keef, I always say that wrong. I know somewhere Street News TV is laughing at me from Chicago, but Chief Keef, he can't even perform in Chicago because they feel like he will start a riot. So what's your thinking on that?
Man, is it the music or is it the environment?
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep it real. Like for people who don't know anything about Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
that you're talking about a very they're called nations. Let's be first and foremost. It ain't gangs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the police and the government call it. It's really some nations of start out social clubs, nations, and I put it like this: a lot of those brothers and sisters up there are some of the most spiritual people I know. So I want people to understand that. But also too, you're talking about like the drill became from the south side of Chicago. I want everyone also too, people know the word drill has been in Chicago's music since the 90s. Okay, this ain't no new. They just happen to call it that. You know what I'm saying? But that's always been part of their lingo up there, drill. But you talking about guys, you know, Boom, Dirt, Keith, and all them. Them guys are all BD Black Disciples, and you got the FBD Duck and some of those cats. Them dudes is GDs. Them are Gangster Disciples. Even though they supposed to be together because they under the star of the six, the folk nation and whatnot. But you talking about generational beef, man. I'm talking multiple generations, cousins, brothers, sisters. You know what I'm saying? That's not just gonna stop overnight, man. That stuff they add it like Sunnis and Shiites.
You just added a great point, and you're right, because Street News TV, I got pretty close with him as far as being a content creator. And when you watch the clips he puts together and you see how, they'll kill one person and then they want to retaliate, and then this person cousin try to defend that person, and then he get caught lacking, and it's just like now the little baby cousin got to try to shoot the person who killed his cousin before he was even born, and then they don't name the neighborhood after the person who was the leader and got killed. And it's just it reminds me of Compton, how I hear people talk about Compton, but you don't even hear about Compton being bad like this anymore. But you hear so many people from LA and California saying that they just grew up in a gang culture, and it just was a part of their family. Their cousins were in the gangs, and that's just how life was.
Yeah, you talk, like I said, you talk about generations, multiple generations. It's what, 2022? You're talking about stuff that's been going on since 1980s. It's the 70s. That's a long time.
Yes, it is. So what is your opinion on King
drill?
Von? King Von.
Drill music, to me, I don't necessarily like it. I don't necessarily dislike it either. I like Lil Durk's music. King Von, to me, he was gonna be a star.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate.
And the sad thing about what happened with Von is the fact of he was going like a man, knuckle up first. I'll be the last person to like, man, I can't tell somebody how to feel as far as like you killed my friend or something, man. Yeah, it's probably going to be an issue, but I can't. But when it's something just, over a chick or something just petty saying, boom, go knuckle up with someone. That's what he was doing. And they, boom, shot him.
Have you been surprised at the success of Lil Durk? And it's just amazing to me. Lil Durk is like a video game character. I mean, people tried to come into his house, and him and his girlfriend, they both pulled out guns and went against these people. I mean, he doesn't look like a killer. He doesn't look, to me, he doesn't anyway. But this guy has somehow been able to maintain his success.
He got out of Chicago.
Lacking. But everybody around him, they die. And that sounds bad, but they do. They die.
Yeah. I can't really comment on that. I don't know the kid. Like I said, I like his music. But for anybody who's never been to Chicago, man, that shit real out there. Like that gang shit is very real. Like I can even just on my own personal experience.
Yeah, because you hit the grounds when you go out and help artists. You've been in the Chicago area.
Dude, man. Like anytime I meet a new Chicago artist or a Gary, Indiana artist, I ask them what nation they with. I want to know what type of person I'm working with.
Do you get more people that say that they like, I'm not with anybody, or they most of the time say,
Nah, they something. 90% of the time they something.
mm-hmm.
But also too, I'm gonna be, like my girl Nuisance used to tell me, he was like, yeah, Adam, you're gonna get caught up with us.
Mm-hmm.
And they travelers. A lot of my cats are traveler vice lords. And they're gonna like, just because you were around us a lot, people are just gonna assume that. I ended up on Gary, and before the famous you got to tap in or whatever. I had one of the most notorious neighborhoods in Gary used to come pick us up from the studio.
Wow.
And we was always with them, and they Mafia Insane vice lords. So I had some artists that were GDs who weren't trying to work with me at first because they always saw me with some vice lords. So they just assumed I was with them, or I was a Puerto Rican kid from Chicago or something. And we cool now. I got a lot of cats that are GDs. Like even the crew that I with Drama Ward, there's a lot of GDs up in there. So I've been around people who they never, they're like, Adam, you're not from here, so don't get caught up in that. Don't get your money. They've always told me that. But all that stuff up there with that shit, very real. That shit's very real and very dangerous if you don't know where you're at and who you're dealing with.
Do you see the situation getting any better? Well, let me rephrase that question. Well,
nah,
I mean, I'm just
you're
taking.
completely right, because you know what? I do watch a lot of YouTubers, who talk, and just this one cat that I would watch all the time out of New York. He always talking about these dudes with the drill rapping out there, and they knocking each other's heads off out there. Like, even though I've never heard of half these rappers or whatever, then but still, it's like they oh man, they on that shit. They a lot of, you got too many. I don't know. You got probably, I would say you probably might have about half these people just trying to live up to what they hear, or be something like the people around them that are actually are. At the end of the day, I'll keep it real. 9 times out of 10, if I'm out of town or just even around town in St. Louis, whatever, I usually got 2 pistols on me, and that ain't for offense. I'm just
Defense.
very careful. Boom, I lost my sister to gun violence. So and then I was 16 years old when I buried my sister. So like,
Man, sorry to hear that.
Nah, it's just another way to molded me to who I am. So, but it's real in the Midwest. Like, if you go look at that top 25 most dangerous list, more than half those cities are in the Midwest. So it's real out here, and just you got to be careful. Like I said, you got to know who you're dealing with, because hey, there might be a situation you might be with, just with somebody. You just let's just put it like this. Boom, I could be with some guy from the north side of St. Louis, who boom, we're talking music business. He's sitting, we're chilling, maybe sitting in his car listening to his new shit. Next thing you know, boom, someone slide up on the car and just starts unloading into the shit. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A person like you who just working with an artist, but they all gang affiliated. I mean, you got to be who want to just have to look over their shoulder every second, because a bullet don't have no name, just like you said.
Yeah, I'm extra careful just on the fact of what city I'm from, and then just the cities that I go to, and like the spots that I go to see and meet these people.
Somebody said, never mind visiting the Midwest.
Hey, nah, there's some nice places and stuff. You just got to be careful. You just got to be real careful. But it's like, you got cities like Kansas City, Missouri. They've been in the top 10 most dangerous.
I'm sorry, somebody said they don't want to visit the Midwest.
Wow, never mind. Never mind visiting the Midwest. I see that. That's funny.
Oh my God. Well, give us something that's positive about St. Louis. So,
man, what's positive about St. Louis, man? You can have fun here.
Okay.
We the strip clubs on the east side, from what I'm told, are very popping. I'm not a strip club type. I don't go to the strip clubs, but they're very popping. Can't take it.
The strip clubs, Adam. I can stay in Atlanta for that.
Nah. We can touch in our strip clubs. You can't touch down there. You can touch up, but now St. Louis, man, we always got good club spots. We really do. We have fun, man. We know how to have fun. We can chill. It's definitely like a spot like St. Louis. Say St. Louis shuts down probably about maybe 1:30, 2:00, and you just slide over across the bridge over to East St. Louis, and those clubs are open till like 8, 9, 10 in the morning sometimes.
Wow. Well, since you here giving us some great tips, I want to move on into this. And I call this Free Game with Adam Murphy. Adam
Okay.
Murphy, that's you. And I'm going to bring you up here and let's do it like this. So you always giving such good advice because of your experience in the music business, marketing and advising and everything that you do. So what's some free game that you can give my audience today that may be trying to find their way throughout the entertainment business?
I would say first thing first,
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna have a business, get an LLC. Own it, ownership. Own your shit, just own it. I own Midwest Mixtapes.
Mm-hmm.
I can do whatever I want with Midwest Mixtapes. I own it. Ownership. And then find somebody in this business who actually makes some money in this business for real.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking no bottom feeder type person who just will take any 25, 30 bucks from any artist just to give, you know what I'm saying, knowing damn well this artist sounds terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I would say, yeah, that's my two things that I did. I went in my marketing company. It's LLC'd. I've had it LLC'd since 2006. And then Midwest Mixtapes, like I said, I own it. And then the person who I learned the business from, I got to give a shout out to my man EC Illa in Chicago. He taught me the business. He taught me the business. And he didn't tell me just any old business of this, because a lot of people go chasing DJs and some type of industry person.
Mm-hmm.
He showed me how to get the consumer for real. And at the end of the day, consumers will run this. I don't know what people, some people want fame.
Mm-hmm.
I've always just wanted the money. I've always enjoyed listening to music more from artists that I knew was only selling 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 units. But I knew them guys had just as much money as somebody who was signed.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it real. TLC, they're a great example.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they had to split, what, $100,000 between the three of them or some shit?
And came out broke.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know artists from the Midwest, from Gary, Indiana, man. Shout out to my man Hit Screwface.
Mm-hmm.
When he drops, man, he usually sells probably about 10 to 15,000 units. But that's all his money. So he's making, not to be counting that man's pockets,
Mm-hmm.
but a good 50, 60 grand just off his music alone. And he ain't got to worry about an A&R or he needs to make this type of record or I'm looking for, someone, you know what I'm saying? He makes the records he want to make.
Now I have to go back and ask you this because I have to ask you this because I don't know who else I have on this show that can give me a better answer than you. But I know there's so much violence out here towards rappers, but I was very surprised to see that Huey from St. Louis was shot and killed.
Yeah.
It just didn't. He didn't.
Hey,
I don't know his personal life, but he didn't come off like a person who was in the streets like that. Maybe he was.
Man, you know what? Let's go back to what I said first and foremost, man. Rest in peace, Huey. I only met him. I only got to meet him once. He was cool, people. He definitely had an impact in St. Louis. Definitely. But let's just, like what I was saying before, you guys have only got to hear our fun side. So anybody that was just like, oh, I don't want to visit. Nah, man, we know how to have fun here. It's just we know how to. Our attitude can go from, happy, go, everything great to, we pissed. We about to shoot up the place and within like that. That's the only problem here. But a lot of cats, these cats, like I said, even Chingy, the
Mhm.
type of records Chingy make, you would never think Chingy was a tough guy.
No, you wouldn't.
But go, I promise you, a lot of them guys that are around Chingy, you, yeah, them type of people. You know what I'm saying?
Neighborhood guys, probably that
Yeah,
they just have to
yeah,
keep on the payroll.
right. Some head busters. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I don't know Huey like that, like I said, but the fact that when he got shot and people were talking about it, definitely it was like, whoa, really?
Mhm.
Because you definitely have never heard Huey in no nonsense. Yeah, there he is.
There's a picture of him as he got older right here. What was that? Snap, drop and lock it. Stop, lock and drop it.
Oh, pop,
Stop,
lock, and drop it.
pop, lock and drop it. I knew it was something like that. That got off though, and I
That
was waiting to hear some more from him. I know he stayed on the scene, underground wise.
man, he Huey to me, to be honest, Huey was the first talented
Mhm.
artist on a major label from St. Louis to me that had
Mhm.
like that talent. Like Huey could rap. Like that
Mhm.
boy actually knew how to rap. I'm not saying Nelly and Chingy don't know how to rap, but he knew how to rap.
Yeah, because nobody ever says Nelly goes out and like he destroys a song. I've never
Right,
heard
right, right.
that.
You've
He's just
never
a
heard
pop.
anybody like you got
He's
to
a
hear
pop
these 16
artist.
bars. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's nothing wrong with that. You a pop artist. I mean, I wouldn't call Nelly and say, "Oh, it's about to be super lyrical." He
yeah.
knows his lane, and that's totally fine.
Right. But yeah, you was dope. You was dope. His first mixtape was real dope. Uh, we had his stuff on the site. We had a gang of his mixtapes on the site. He was always one of them artists that I just respected, and the fact
Mhm.
of like you made it,
Mhm.
so. And he used to retweet the stuff and everything too. So, but yeah, man, when he got killed, man, it's even now that we even talking about it, it's
Mhm.
like still like, damn, Huey's not here with us.
Yeah, it just didn't seem. It just didn't seem
And
right.
just, man, and just the fact of then the Erica Banks came out
Mhm.
and had that Huey sample. Oh
Mhm.
man, that to me was like, damn, that could have been a chance for Huey's second chance.
Rest in peace to Huey and all the people we lost to violence. And I
Yeah,
want.
I want to say though,
Mhm.
from what I've heard, he hearsay type, he wasn't the target. He
Mm.
wasn't the target, so he just
Bullets don't have no name. We talked about it earlier, didn't we?
right,
Bullets don't have no name, and it gets you sometimes at the moment you don't you don't expect it, and sometimes you're not able to say your story because you're no longer here. So just R.I.P. to him and
yeah,
all
yeah.
the rappers that we've lost. Now, Adam, I just want you to remind people before we get out of here what they will be partaking in when they go to Midwest Mixtapes.com. What you say is the number one source for free mixtapes. And you had me at free, Adam. You had me at free.
Man, you know what? Now that people don't download music anymore like that,
Mm-hmm.
so it's really not downloading it. Like when we first started, we allowed everybody to download stuff like that, and that to me, what got Freddie Gibbs out here a lot quicker. It was
Mm-hmm.
the access, the easy, quick access. We didn't have at the time. We didn't have no, had to sign up or nothing. It was you came to the site, you clicked on the cover, you clicked on the download button, bam. We're talking about 2-3 clicks, and it
Mm-hmm.
was right there. And that it was easy to spread his music around on the internet and stuff because like the states, we still behind as far as to me and as far as like internet technology as far as marketing music and stuff because like
Mm-hmm.
overseas they've been on this shit for years.
But I have to say, I'm very proud of you. The fact that you said that Midwest Mixtapes was one of the first, if not the first, mixtape website, even before that Piff. That's outstanding.
Man, you know what? I want people to know though, I didn't create it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't create it. It was this gentleman by the name of Shep. We met on message boards back in the day, man. That's how long I've been on the internet. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm that age group that we saw the very beginning of all this. Like,
On that AOL.
man, dude, we
The
talking about
AOL.
people had message boards. They had music websites and there was message boards, and people just all on message boards. I met this guy on this message board. The website's still around. It's called sickness.net.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of Bay Area stuff. It was a West Coast based website, first and foremost, to let people know. They had a lot of Bay Area stuff. Then they started making different forums, and they finally gave the Midwest a chance. And it was like, yes, finally. And that's when I started seeing all the different stuff coming from the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
And the group at the time that I was working with, that I put out, called the Lyrical Warfare.
Mm-hmm.
We was on Kingpin Skinny Pimp's album. Shout out to Kingpin Skinny Pimp from Memphis. We was on his 2000 album. I didn't know them guys yet at that time, but that's where they got their buzz and start from. And our group was always getting compared to all the Chicago groups. That's how I ended up in Chicago. I got a hold of a store out there. My guy, E.C. Illa, when I contacted him, he knew who we were by the buzz from the internet already. So, but Midwest Mixtapes, got to traveling. I met the dude who created it. I was sending him so many mixtapes from Chicago and Gary, Indianapolis, Kansas City. He couldn't keep up with me, so he was like, hey, here's your password. This is how you do it, blah, blah, blah. It was like me reading freaking Egyptian hieroglyphics and stuff, the shit at the time. But my boy, he went to school for that. And, I called him and I was like, hey, we got access to the site, boom, we went crazy with that shit. He went to sell it. Remember I don't know how old you were back in like 07, 08.
Well, don't make me calculate.
No, you good. Hey, but you know what? You was in the South, weren't you? So
Yeah, of
you remember
course.
Ozone magazine, right?
My country ass was in the South. Yeah, I know Ozone magazine. I used to work for Georgia Up and Coming magazine. Shout out to my boy Sean.
I used to write in Ozone magazine. I was a St. Louis rep.
Oh wow, okay. I wish I would have known you back then. I would have tried to give me a
Yeah.
story.
That's how long. Like, man, I really do got a nice hip hop story. But the site. I met dude. He ended up selling it. He wanted to sell it, and this was at the time. Gas prices were no different than what they are now. And I asked him, like, oh, well, how much you trying to sell it for, and why is it worth so much? And the reason he gave me was the amount of music that was on there and the traffic. And I'm looking at his ass like, well, that came from me. So, yeah, he wanted some ridiculous price at first, and I was like, nah. But I also told him, though, you sell that shit, I better get a cut. A year went by. Didn't sell it. I hit him up again. I was like, hey, man, I still got that $1,000 for you. Bought it. Boom, went from there. I popped it.
Damn.
Yeah, this is late 08, 2008. Got a hold of my boy who was adding all the stuff. I was like, yeah, man, I bought the site. Man, he was more happy about it than I was. But I always knew what Midwest Mixtapes was going to be and what it could be. And we always had a free site. We had it easy accessible, man. That's what made a Midwest Mixtape so much better than everybody. We didn't have that sign-in button yet at the time. We had to do that. We had to create a sign-in password and all that because of the amount of traffic we were getting.
Well, I'm so proud of the work that you've done, and it's good to have heard this story. Yeah. And I want to remind people while we're here to make sure you like and subscribe to the Kera Dangerous Talk YouTube channel. Like this video, comment, let me know what you thought, and subscribe to the channel.
Oh, hey, can I describe the way Midwest Mixtapes is now, though?
Sure.
Say, boom, like I was saying, nobody really downloads stuff anymore. So we got videos, obviously you can see, and basically, we put up we add videos and singles and whatnot, and everything's streaming now. So I'll put up an artist Spotify or their Apple Music or their Automac or whatever boom. I usually like to put up their Spotify and then their audio, the YouTube album. That way, boom, once people do come to the site and check it out, the artists get paid.
I like it. I like it. And that's why the people love you. You are the Midwest people's champ. And I just want to remind people to make sure you check out
Man,
MidwestMixtapes.com.
man,
And
we
I
put on
appreciate Adam so much. I'm not
we
from the Midwest, but he had my music up there before too. So make sure you give him a check.
hey man, you know what? We definitely crowned a lot of artists from the Midwest that a lot of people have heard. Like I said, you know, Freddie Gibbs was just one of the first ones. Cash Dow,
Mhm.
she got over 1 million streams on our site
Wow.
when her record label back in Detroit was trying to shut her down. We were able to I got lawyer. I got like two emails from a lawyer like, hey, you need to remove this. You need to remove this. But I got a friend, a good industry friend. Shout out to Dorian, my man Dorian Washington.
Hmm.
He was involved in that, and he was able to allow me to keep up the Cash Dow stuff, which allowed me to get crazy numbers. Like Cash Dow has such a fan base. Just
Hmm.
that one summer when she dropped that "He's for Everybody" single, I want to say the site, man, we had got about 7,000 registered emails that month. That
Wow.
within like a 3 month time span.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm,
like she was doing crazy numbers, man, and just what it is now is, boom. I keep finding real talent, and just
mhm.
as long as the people that whoever gets on the site break their bread with me, as long as they happy, that's all I'm worried about.
Adam, the type of services that you do, I want to give you the chance right now to give people some contact information in case they want to, ask you about what you can do to help them with their career in music and how they can just check out what you got going on.
Everything is Midwest Mixtapes. My
Hmm.
Twitter, Midwest Mixtapes. Instagram, Midwest Mixtapes. Facebook, Midwest Mixtapes. If you don't see my face on that stuff, you'll see my piggy bank logo, or you'll see the cassette tape. The cassette tape, everybody and they mama been jocking since I created that, man. That shit. Yeah, from Detroit. He a big DJ radio person out there in Detroit. Met him in Chicago. So yeah,
Absolutely.
man,
Thank you so much, Adam. And you
I
guys, make sure you check out their website. You're gonna get some
everything
great
Midwest
music.
Mixtapes.
Yes, this has been a great history on the Midwest because, I've always wanted to have a little bit more insight into it. So I'm glad we got to spend this time together, Adam.
Can I give some shout outs?
Oh, for sure.
Man, first and foremost, man, my man EC Illa in Chicago. If it wasn't for him, there probably wouldn't be this.
Hmm.
Gotta take, boom, my boys Triple Darkness, my guys Psychodrama, everybody in Drama Ward, Gary, Indiana. I don't want to leave anybody out in Gary. Gary, Indiana is my backbone, man. I promise you, anybody ever have a problem with me, don't ever go to Gary. You won't come out of that bitch.
That's
Indianapolis, shout out to Stop Beefing Radio in Indianapolis, man. Nella D, my girl Nella D out there in Cincinnati. Kansas City, man. I love Kansas City. My man, the Popper with I'm KC and his movement out there, KC Mixtapes Radio. And I can't forget my man DJ Shad. I forgot to, you know what? I forgot to plug my radio show.
Go ahead. Oh
I get
yeah, that's right. A lot of my pictures didn't load, but I had a photo with your
man.
radio
Oh,
show, and
yeah,
I
I
just
forgot
want
all about that, man. My
yeah,
bad.
go
My
ahead.
bad. DJ Shad, man. I got Midwest Mixtapes Radio. It's
Hmm.
Sunday nights on 1037 The Beat. 1037 DABEAT. You can get, that's their website. They have a mobile app. They're on Roku, and you can pull them up on Alexa and all that good stuff. I got nearly 10. It's Sunday nights from 8 to 9 Central Standard Time. I got nearly
Hmm.
10,000 weekly listeners that tune in, which is great. And then Friday nights with 94.5 The Hits out of Chicago. That's from 7 to 8 Central Standard Time. So they're hour shows. Sometimes I just do all, Midwest music on it. And then sometimes I got guests. So I'm definitely got to get you on there so you can brag to the Midwest about what you do. Because I definitely feel like Midwest needs to, reach outside more.
Okay, yeah, I would love to do that. So yeah, out, reach on out, and I'll grab your hand, and I'll be there. Thank you so much. And
Hey, I
just to make a
appreciate you.
little joke, I call Adam bootleg David Justice
They
from the
said,
Atlanta Braves. He always gives a nice. Can you can swing a bat, right?
yeah. I played baseball. I played baseball all the way up to college. I'm
I'm
from
sorry, I'm silly.
silly. You silly for that one.
Guys, please join me again for Kara Dangerous Talk. I believe we have a show Thursday. No, we got a show Tuesday. Got a show next Thursday. Got Hollow the Done next Thursday. That's gonna be amazing.
Oh, do you really?
Yes, I do. At 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m.
Hey,
Pacific.
you know what, man? Before we go, see, you keep bringing up the good stuff, man. Hey, I don't care what anybody says, man. St. Louis, we started this battle rap shit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Fuck anybody who thinks otherwise. Verb, Hitman Holla. Come on, man. Y'all saw what we did in New York. We took
Mm.
that shit to the streets. Hey, you know what? And also, too, I want to give a huge shout out to A-Verb, man. Like, if you want to
Mm-hmm.
know a real St. Louis ass artist that can represent St. Louis like that, that's A-Verb.
Well, I
Not,
need to get him on this show.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's on his Kevin Samuels type shit, but you know what I'm saying. But he funny dude. But on
Oh.
some serious note type battle stuff, man, St. Louis, we started that shit. We brought that shit to life.
See, I don't know, so I'm gonna have to just take your word for it.
Man, we started that, man. We can take that shit back to the days, man. We talking about 06, 07. I put it like this. I
Mm-hmm.
wrote about that. I wrote about the battle stuff in Ozone magazine way
Mm-hmm.
before anybody was ever talking about this shit. St. Louis, really, man. When I mean, we used to be in this spot called African Palace.
Mm-hmm.
No business for this thing to have more than 100 people in there, man. When I mean, this place was packed wall to wall, 200. And when I mean, you got some of the grimiest fucking people in the city in there. You already know half the people in this bitch is strapped. That's
Mm-hmm.
the type of environment it was. And I'm talking, those battles were fierce.
I believe it, man. I believe it. I gotta
I'm
do
gonna, you know
some.
what? I'm gonna dig up some of them old battles so you can see that shit, man. You can see what I'm
Absolutely.
talking about, man. It was such a feeling to be there to see it from the beginning and stuff, and just even what Averb is now and Hitman Holla
Mhm.
is now. That shit doesn't surprise me.
Well, thank you so much for that extra little insight because I
Yeah.
didn't know that either. So we got another little history lesson right here before we go out. Again, make sure you like, subscribe to the Kara Dangerous Talk YouTube channel, and make sure you comment and make sure you visit Midwest Mixtapes. And